Have you ever built something with your own blood, sweat, and tears, only to watch someone else try to take it away? This is the story of how I secretly bought a beach house, a dream I had waited for my whole life. But what happened next broke my heart, shook my family, and forced me to fight for my dignity. Stay with me, because this is not just a tale of betrayal. It's a journey of pride, honor, and the truth that changed everything. Life had always been a struggle for me. From my early days of working double shifts just to pay rent, to saving every single penny I could, I had one dream that kept me alive through it all: to one day build a house by the sea. The ocean had always spoken to me in ways nothing else ever did. Its endless waves, the salty breeze, the sound of water crashing against the rocks, it felt like a place where a man could finally breathe freely. While others dreamed of cars or jewelry, my heart was fixed on a beach house, a place where I could sit by the window every evening, watch the sunset, and thank Allah for giving me peace after years of hardship. So I worked tirelessly. Nights turned into mornings, mornings turned into weeks, and years passed by. My wife would sometimes ask me, "Why do you push yourself so hard?" I would smile and tell her, "Because one day we won't just live, we'll truly live." Finally, after years of patience, sacrifice, and struggle, the day came when I had saved enough. With trembling hands and a heart full of hope, I signed the papers for a small piece of land near the ocean. My dream had finally started taking shape. The construction wasn't easy. Every brick felt like a battle won. I was there every day, standing under the scorching sun, checking the foundation, running to suppliers, and making sure every little detail was perfect. I wanted this house to be more than just walls and windows. I wanted it to be a sanctuary, a home built from blood, sweat, and prayers. When the final nail was hammered, and I opened the doors for the very first time, my heart nearly burst with joy. The house wasn't huge or luxurious, but to me it was a palace. Large glass windows overlooked the blue horizon. The balcony caught the morning sunlight perfectly, and the sound of waves filled the entire home with peace. I fell to my knees that day and whispered, "Alhamdulillah. Ya Allah, this is your blessing. Protect it from envy, from greed, from destruction." For the first few months, life was perfect. My children laughed in the garden. My wife decorated every corner with love. And I would sit on the porch at night listening to the waves, believing nothing could ever take this peace away. But little did I know, peace was the very thing that was about to be stolen from me. It began with small signs, subtle looks, sly comments, and unexpected visits from my father-in-law. At first, I didn't think much of it. After all, he was family. But slowly I began to notice something unusual in the way he would walk through the house, touching the walls, measuring the rooms with his eyes, as if he were claiming it silently. One evening, while sipping tea on the porch, he said something that sent chills down my spine. "You know, this house feels like it should belong to me. I mean, who wouldn't want to retire in a place like this?" I laughed nervously, thinking he was joking. But his eyes didn't laugh, and that was the first moment I felt it. The storm that was coming to take away everything I had built with my own hands. At first, my father-in-law's visits felt harmless. He was, after all, family. Whenever he came, my wife welcomed him warmly, and I too showed respect as it was my duty. He was an elder, and I had no reason to doubt his intentions. But as the days turned into weeks, I noticed his visits became more frequent, sometimes unannounced, sometimes at odd hours. He would walk around the house slowly, pausing at the windows, touching the carved wooden frames, or standing silently in the balcony as if measuring the space with his mind. I tried to brush off my unease. It's just admiration, I told myself. He's happy for us. But admiration soon turned into something else. One afternoon, I found him sitting in the living room while I was returning from work earlier than usual. His shoes were placed neatly at the entrance, and he sat in the armchair as though it belonged to him. He didn't look surprised to see me. Instead, he smiled casually and said, "This house. It feels like mine already." The words were light, but his tone was heavy. I laughed weakly, trying to treat it as a joke. "It's just a house, Babaji. You can always visit. It's yours too as family." But the way he stared at me made my stomach turn. Soon after that, subtle shifts began to take place. When guests came over, he would walk them through the house proudly, saying things like, "Look at this balcony I always dreamed of." Or, "This ocean view is exactly what I wanted for retirement." The guests would look at me, confused, and I would smile tightly, saying nothing. because arguing in front of others felt disrespectful. But inside, my heart burned. My wife noticed it too. She tried to calm me. "He's old, maybe he just loves the house," she would say. But her voice lacked conviction. One night after he had left, I asked her directly, "Tell me the truth. Has he ever said this house should be his?" She looked down, fiddling with her hands. He said once that since he's the elder of the family, the house should be in his name. He thinks it would bring respect. My blood ran cold. I had sacrificed everything for this house. Worked through sleepless nights, missed family dinners, skipped vacations, saved every penny, and now someone else wanted to erase my name from it? The betrayal cut deep. It started subtly. My father-in-law began storing his belongings in the house. At first, just a few clothes in the guest room. Then some books, important documents, and even furniture he insisted looked better in his home. One day I returned to find my family portraits replaced by his old pictures. His wedding photo now hung where mine used to be. I confronted him. "Babaji, what is going on?" "This is my house. Why are you replacing everything?" He didn't flinch. Instead, he looked me straight in the eye and said, "You built it, but it's not really yours. You're young. Houses belong to elders. And this one, it belongs to me now." My knees felt weak. I wanted to scream, but my voice failed me. The tension tore through our family like a storm. My wife stood between her father and me, torn apart by loyalty and love. She begged me to stay calm, but every day my anger grew. Neighbors began whispering. Relatives started visiting, curious about the ownership of the house. Some of them openly addressed my father-in-law as the owner, since he claimed it so boldly. And I, despite being the man who built it brick by brick, was slowly being erased from the very walls I had created. At night, I would sit by the window staring at the sea. The waves crashed loudly, echoing the storm inside me. My dream house, once a place of peace, had become a battlefield of pride, greed, and betrayal. I prayed silently, "Ya Allah, give me strength. Don't let my sweat and sacrifice be stolen. Show me the truth. Guide me," but deep down I knew the truth was already unfolding before my eyes. The days grew heavier, like clouds before a storm. My father-in-law's presence in the house became more than just visits. It felt like a claim, a slow invasion. One morning, as I was leaving for work, I noticed something unusual on the dining table. A set of legal papers carelessly left behind, curiosity mixed with unease. I picked them up. What I saw nearly stopped my heartbeat. It was a property transfer draft, with my house's exact address written on it. And under future owner's name. My father-in-law's name was typed boldly. At the bottom, a blank space waited for a signature. My signature. That evening, I confronted my wife. "Do you know about these papers?" I asked, my voice trembling with rage. She froze. Her silence was louder than any confession. Finally, with tears in her eyes, she whispered, He told me not to say anything. He said it's for the family's respect. He believes if the house is in his name, the relatives will honor us more." My chest tightened. Respect? Was my sweat, my sacrifice, my years of struggle so worthless that they could be erased by one man's pride? I shouted, "And what about me? What about the man who gave everything for this? Does his respect not matter?" She sobbed, unable to answer, but the worst was yet to come. That night I overheard a phone call. My father-in-law's voice carried from the guest room. He was speaking to a relative. "Yes, the boy thinks it's his house. Foolish child. Soon it will all be in my name. He'll have nothing." That's how families work. The elder owns, the younger obeys. Each word struck like a knife. It wasn't admiration. It wasn't family love. It was a plan. A betrayal. A theft of my dignity I could no longer hold back. The next day I confronted him directly. "Babaji, enough. This is my house. My blood and sweat built these walls. You cannot take it away from me." He didn't even flinch. Instead, he smirked. "Blood and sweat? You are just a boy. This family respects me, not you. You can live here only as long as I allow it. Otherwise, get out." His words crushed me. My own father-in-law, treating me like a stranger in the home I created. That night, I sat alone on the balcony, the ocean roaring before me. My hands trembled, my heart ached. Ya Allah, I prayed, tears blurring my eyes. Why is this happening? I only wanted peace, happiness for my family. Why must my own dreams be stolen by those I trusted most? In that moment, I realized This wasn't just about a house. It was about dignity, respect, and truth, and I knew the time was coming when I would have to choose between silence and a fight. The tension in the house had grown unbearable. Every corner echoed with silence, every meal carried unspoken battles, but I knew I couldn't let the storm keep raging inside me. It was time. One evening I called the family together. My wife, my in-laws, my siblings-in-law. Everyone sat in the living room. My father-in-law, sitting proudly in the center, didn't know what was about to happen. I placed the property papers on the table. The room froze. "This," I said, my voice steady though my heart raced, "is the proof of betrayal, a plan to erase my name from the very house I built, to call me a loser, to strip me of my pride. But not today. Not anymore." Gasps filled the room. My wife buried her face in her hands. My mother-in-law's eyes widened in shock. My father-in-law tried to speak, but I didn't let him. "You said this family respects you, not me. But tell me, what respect comes from stealing another man's hard work? What honor comes from humiliating the very person who welcomed you into his home?" The silence was deafening. For the first time, the arrogance on his face cracked. Then something unexpected happened. My wife stood up. With trembling hands, she spoke. "Father, I stayed silent because I feared you. But no more. This is my husband's house. His sacrifice gave us this life. And if you call him a loser, then you insult me too. I will not let you take away his honor." Her voice shook the room like thunder. For the first time, I saw strength in her eyes, a strength that stood beside me, not against me. My father-in-law's face turned pale. He stammered, You dare speak against me?" But no one supported him. The family, one by one, turned their eyes away from him. His empire of pride crumbled in that moment. He stormed out of the house, but this time it was clear. He had lost. That night I stood again on the balcony, watching the ocean waves. But this time I wasn't alone. My wife stood beside me, her hand in mine. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I should have defended you earlier. But today, I promise, no one will ever steal your dignity again." I looked into her eyes, my heart lighter than it had been in months. The beach house wasn't just walls and windows anymore. It was a reminder that respect isn't given, it's earned, and once lost, it can never be stolen again. That day, I regained my pride. Not through anger, not through revenge, but through truth, courage, and the voice of the one who finally stood by me. And as the waves crashed against the shore, I realized something. Sometimes the greatest battles aren't fought with fists or swords, but with honesty, dignity, and the courage to say, "This is mine. This is who I am, and I will not let anyone take it away." And so, that was the day I realized, respect is not given by titles, money, or pride. It is earned by truth and courage. My sister-in-law tried to take over my dream. My father-in-law tried to erase my worth. But in the end, the truth stood tall and dignity returned. If this story touched your heart, remember, never let anyone steal your honor. This is Elder Tales Stories, where every tale carries a lesson of life, family, and respect. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this.